So, good morning, everyone. Um, I'd like to welcome you to this call. Uh, let's wait a little while for everybody to get on the call. There's still a few people coming in, but it's nice to see all of your faces. It's been a while since I've seen you. Um, I'd like to acknowledge that this morning, uh, this is the first time that we will have a full moon call without Cynthia. She won't be with us this morning. Uh, Therese and I will be leading the meditation, and we will be interviewing uh, Julian Silburn a little later on about the whales and the dolphins. And yeah, so after that, we'll have a nice meditation. So just wanted to welcome you all and also let you know that this weekend is called Wesak. Many people around the world, many Buddhists around the world celebrate this as a very special weekend. Um, the full moon in May is considered the time when Buddha was born. Some people believe it's the time that he was enlightened, and even the time that he achieved parinirvana and entered enlightenment and paradise. And it's also a full moon, and it's also a lunar eclipse. So each one of those things in Tibetan Buddhism multiplies the merits of any prayers or good deeds done, 100,000 fold. So, anything we do today is like multiplied 100 million fold by their reckoning. So let's really make sure that this is a good meditation, and let let's get all those merits out there so that they ripple around and go around the world, and not only help Gaia to heal herself, but um, help people to come to a place where they can understand peace around the world. And at the same time, while Gaia's healing herself, hopefully she'll be able to wake up the Kachinas or the Nagas and bring some rain to New Mexico, where they're suffering terrible fires. Um, Probably other places in the Southwest as well, but I know about the New Mexico one, so let's keep that in our minds as well. But so before we start, um, I know that Cynthia always begins with talking about the lineage of the Earth Treasure Vase practice. So I'm going to ask Julian Silburn to tell you all about that lineage. So go ahead, Julian.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, thanks so much everyone for being here on this very special full moon. Yeah, so the practice comes from the root teacher, uh, Guru Rinpoche, so Padmasambhava, and Padmasambhava brought Buddhist teachings to Tibet and founded Tibetan Buddhism. Um, and part of that tradition is the Earth Treasure Vase practice, which was passed on to different um, regions of Tibet, and then that spread to other areas in Nepal. And Charak Rinpoche was the 106-year-old Tibetan Lama living high up in a cave in the Himalayas. And Cynthia had an opportunity to have a pilgrimage, a very intense passage to climb up to this cave hermitage that was, I think, over 8,000 meters elevation, something incredible. And that's where she explained that as she was making that journey, um, she was considering what would I ask this proverbial wise man on the mountain. um, if I had a question, what would my question be? And her question to the Rinpoche, who held this lineage of the Earth Treasure Vase practice, was, how can we bring healing and protection to Mother Earth? And he explained that just people meditating like the way we are now is going to have a real benefit to your immediate surroundings and also to your community. It's probably one of the most powerful things to do is to get into that state of deep reflection, contemplation, connecting with the field, the quantum field, and to make a difference just by going into that sacred silent space. And he then said to her, but you need to learn this practice of the Earth Treasure Vase. And he explained how the consecrated preparation of creating the vase and the sacred offerings that go into the vase are dedicated to for the healing and the protection of the earth. So that's why we gather on these full moons, is to bring our highest heart intentions and prayers into this sangha, this community, and offer that for healing and the protection of the earth. So really, that journey started in 1990, so it's over 30 years. It's more than 30 years now that Cynthia has started to activate this treasure vase practice, starting in New Mexico, where the mandala started, and then regions all around the world, and places that have been affected by war and disease and famine and droughts and fires, and so yeah, her dedication to seeing this ancient practice be embraced and to be encouraged and to be really used in a very active way is greatly inspiring. So I think that's why we're all here, because this is such a great way of being of service to all being through our prayers and highest intentions. So yeah, we give huge amount of gratitude to Cynthia and this lineage. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you, Julian. Yes, it's important to remember the lineage when we're doing any kind of practice like this. That's why Cynthia always mentions it. So I thought it was best that we mention it as well. And I'd really like to honor her again, because without Cynthia Jers and her dedication, none of us would be here on this meditation today. For 30 years, she's been devoting herself to this practice of helping Gaia to heal herself. And not only that, but bringing into the world other practices like the Tata Gaia practice. And, she's part of our lineage. She's like our teacher. She's the one who brought this practice into being. So I really would like to take a second just to honor her for that. So that being said, let's get into the discussion today before we begin our meditation. Julian Silburn is going to talk about whales and dolphins and how we should be dedicating a vase to them as well. And he'll tell us a dream that his partner had. And I'll just pass the baton back to Julian so he can tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so it's been quite a long journey, actually, several years, that this particular treasure vase was dedicated. It was of four main of the second generation. So the first of the second generation vases went with our culturally adopted family from Arnhem Land. When the last of the treasure vases came to Australia, we met through Therese, thanks to Therese's connection to Auntie Margaret Catherine, and then Mama Margaret then basically took us to her sacred land for when the first of the last of the original first generation vases came to Australia, and then there were vases dedicated to the four corners of Australia. So and the southwest being one of those locations. So um, we have one in the north west of Western Australia, that's up in the Kimberley, but Western Australia is massive. You can fit most of Western Europe into Western Australia. It's an enormous state. We've got different climatic conditions, and where we are is in the southwest. Uh, and the southwest has desert areas as you go further inland, but as you go down into the south, it becomes more lush and green, and there's big tall forests, eucalyptus forests. So this is the region that's being stewarded at this time through this vase. So yeah, we've been in contact with an Indigenous elder down in the southwest in the region of Albany, and originally that Albany was a whaling uh, town. It was a whaling centre, and then you know, there's a ban on the whaling, and there was a ban on many countries around the world. There's still a few countries in the world that still have commercial whaling that's going on, but we've got a massive migratory population of whales, mainly humpback and southern right whales, 30 or 40,000, I believe, that come down all the way down the west coast of Australia and down into Antarctica to feed in Antarctica, and then they come back up to give birth up in the northwest. Um, so sometimes we actually get to experience these whales coming close to the shore, and this is part of Sophie's experience, is that we had an encounter um, fairly recently, and it was a really close contact. It was amazing. I'm going to read shortly what that contact was, but um, I'd just like to also acknowledge the land where we are and the original people of the land. Where I am currently is Wadjuk land. Um, Wadjuk is the particular group of this region in Bulu in Perth. And then as you go down into the southwest, you've got the Wadandi people, and then further south down to the region of Albany, it's the Minang. I'd also like to acknowledge that I think we may have a Noongar woman here on the call, a lady named Megan, and I'm not sure. I'll see if she's here, but if you're here, Megan, thanks so much for being here. Megan is an Indigenous woman of the land here, and when we held our first ceremony, Megan was the first one to offer her prayers into this vase for her ancestors and for her family, dedicated to this place, to this region of the Noongar people. So there's many different groups within the Noongar nation, but that's what we're talking about when we talk about the southwest of Western Australia. Um, so yeah, we also have huge amount of dolphins. I've grown up here in this area, and being a surfer, you see them almost every time you go surfing, and sometimes they'll become very close to you. I've had several encounters with whales. I've received healings from dolphins when I've been unwell, that were saved me from being going through hospital treatment. They're just incredible beings, and also with the whales, being close to them, and when you're in their field, which is massive, you think about a human being and how large our electromagnetic field is. When you talk about a whale being that size, you can feel its vibration from a big distance. Um, and they are profoundly um, telepathic, I believe, and in my experience, they're just incredibly heart-centered. They're very warm and friendly, unless you get in their way of their, their normal patterns like fishing and stuff, and they might not be so friendly. But if you come at them in the right way and with proper respect and give them the space to come to you, then you can have the most incredible experiences. And I think that's the same with many other animal beings. If you try and impose your will on them, and you know, um, that's they don't like that, and humans don't like that either. And you really need to come to know them and get to know them, and they come to know you. And with all my experience with dolphins, um, yeah, you can have that experience where they come to know you, and they make you feel very welcome. They love to play. The more playful you are with them, the more playful they are with you. And it's probably one of the greatest highlights of my life is being in their energy and playing, and the sense of freedom that they embody. Um, so yeah, we after this dream, we had a council meeting, and it really became obvious that so many other people felt really strongly about the whales and the dolphins, and really wanted to protect them. So it became a focus for this call, but there are many other important focuses for the Southwest. We also have had really severe fires in the Southwest, that had unprecedented damage to some of the most beautiful forests, which was heartbreaking. So we really need protection in that region. And speaking to that elder, he really said it's very important, for many reasons, particularly for the youth, the youth, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, the struggles that the youth face. There's all sorts of issues here: deaths in custody, juvenile incarceration. There's some really big issues, suicide. Um, these are some of the big things that we really need to address as a community, and this treasure vase is going to go down to the region where these issues are being faced, and this practice is going to be for the next year, or the next 6 months at least. We really want to engage the Indigenous community and non-Indigenous communities, so that we really feel like this is keeping it real for what's important for this region, so that the prayers are really effective. So we really appreciate your support with this and for this region. Okay, so yeah, both Sophie and I, we dream a lot, and we've both had dreams with dolphins and whales. But recently, after Sophie's encounter, there was a really big message, and a very important message that we feel really important to relay. So I'm going to start to read that out now. So the dreaming that Sophie experienced occurred amidst the backdrop of energetic and live transmissions and experiences from either humpback or southern right whales. We're not sure exactly which ones they were, in the waters of Sophie's childhood in Perth, Western Australia. The day of the night of her dream, she prayed of fully respecting, honouring and anchoring the transmissions of these non-coincidental experiences of whale dreaming that had occurred. As Sophie shared this dream with me, it occurred in the early mornings on Friday the 5th of November, and it happened to be the time when the Ohio treasure vase was placed at Serpent Mound. So that dream came to Sophie at the time when that Ohio vase was going into the serpent mound. So um, that gave Sophie goosebumps, and felt very emotional knowing that it was so synchronistic to something like this. So it, in the months leading up to Sophie's random physical encounter with the humpback whale, she'd encountered the vibrations of the whale while playing the crystal bowl in a sound healing with myself. The vibration of the whale transmission perhaps was strong and pure. I felt connected to the vibration of both the whale and of Mother Earth. And as I stayed with the vibration, the energy offered the understanding or visualization of whales navigating Mother Earth and her oceans. They helped me to understand that the whales, bounced energy off Mother Earth's plate tectonics in order to navigate. And as this occurred, both Mother Earth and the whales emitted and received healing and rejuvenating and essential vibrations, as if fortifying and protecting one another. It was as if the whales were fortifying or strengthening Mother Earth with their vibration and grid lines, whilst also responding to her energy and grid lines and gaining strength and energy from her. The exchange and balance between Mother Earth and the whales was unbreakable, profound, and strong. They showed this through sharing and connecting to their vibration. I encountered this experience perhaps 4 or 5 times while playing the crystal bowl, collaborating with Julian. I began to wonder the significance of whale medicine, and when I told Julian, he mentioned that perhaps I was tuning into the presence of the migratory whales in Western Australian waters around this time. Weeks later, I was suggest to Julian that we visit a beach oceanside cafe overlooking an energetically significant beach, the beach that I'd grown up in. We absolutely loved the energy of this place for its close-up oceanic panoramic view. It was perhaps only half an hour into our visit. A humpback or a southern right whale and her baby emerged in the ocean, perhaps only 20 to 50 meters away from the shoreline. She was close, very close. Some people were concerned, but she wanted to be close, to be experienced. We spent the afternoon in her company. She stayed in the waters close to the panoramic view of the cafe. 2 days later, on the way to a sound healing, Julian and I stopped at a beach a little further on, where it had been reported she was, and there she was again with her baby. 2 whale dreamings in the space of less than 3 days. Beautiful and not to be ignored. The day of the dolphin dreaming. I felt a responsibility not to ignore the significance of both my energetic and physical encounters with whales. There had to be something to it. That day, I prayed and connected to various sources of animal spirit medicine and perhaps what medicine was being offered. The next day, I was to awake with the full concern and knowledge of this dolphin dreaming. Okay, so this is the dream. As my 4-year-old self pressed her cheek against a 1960s television screen, she wept as she was shown a density of dolphins on the screen. They spoke to her, she understood, and she wept. As she connected to their beings, she felt the sheer gravity of their communication. She did not know how she knew this, but she understood what they were to show her. The health of the dolphin population on Earth is inextricably linked to the health of the human population on Earth. This connection and correlation is profound and cannot be underestimated. The harming of the dolphin population is the harming of the future of the human population on Earth. The execution of dolphin populations is akin to the direct execution of human populations. There is an energetic link. This is just how it is. It is the harming of dolphins my 4-year-old self is beginning to physically understand the gravity of what is trying to be communicated. It is not a threat, just a truth, because of the energetic nature of our brother-sisterhood with dolphins. It simply cannot be another way. It simply is a universal truth. As my 4-year-old self wept for the killing of the dolphins, She wept for the death of humanity. They simply could not or would not understand the gravity of what this killing meant for the future of life on this planet. The dolphins are mirrors. The bond is unbreakable, ancient, galactic, beyond time, space, reality, otherworldly. The relationship is clear and blunt and exquisite. If dolphins are or were to become extinct or eradicated, humanity too would also face the apocalypse of extinction, as one cannot survive without the other. The link cannot be underestimated. The understanding of my 4-year-old self had a simple and profound: protect dolphins, protect humanity's future survival. Destroy dolphins, destroy humanity's existence, evolution, and future here on Earth. To kill a dolphin is a direct crime against humanity, beyond cannibalism or genocide, both in gravity and in consequence. In the final part of my dream, my 4-year-old self wept inconsolably against the TV screen whilst a group of adults gathered around her. They tried to tell her she had the wrong idea, that she was overreacting, that all of this had been created to upset and scare her. My 4-year-old self glowered and at the adults and stopped crying. This is the truth. It's not about being comforted. This is uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable in its very essence. This truth requires both tears and actions. There is no place for comfort here. And then my 4-year-old self was shown the ocean vast, and some enormous ships, and she heard the words, "We need to strengthen our international border security." The ships were enormous, imposing and protective. They symbolized surety and strength. The dreaming upon awaking. As I awoke, I felt overwhelmed with strength and clarity of this message. My mind was racing. Who would I tell? What should I do? What on earth could I do? And within 2 seconds, 2 ideas came to mind. Firstly, it was the vision of a movie called The Cove, which documented the annual slaughter of dolphins in Japan. Despite all the efforts of devoted activists, dolphin meat ended up disguised in the supermarkets of Japan, sold as fish for consumption. Mind reeled. Is this political? No, this is energetic, vibrational protection, a message from the whales. They had shown me about sonar and energy and grids and Mother Earth. For moments I felt helpless. Then the treasure vase at the forefront of my mind, the only avenue I knew that could potentially help. Use the treasure vase to protect dolphins, Mother Earth, and humanity. And now, as I write this, I know that a higher treasure vase was being planted within the same hours that my dreaming occurred. This is no coincidence. The words, "we need to strengthen international borders, international waters," although it is a political issue, first for change to occur, it is an energetic one. Could there be Earth grids that strengthen the protection of dolphins and hence the protection of the health of Mother Earth and her human inhabitants? Was this a call to protect dolphins energetically through protective grid lines? So the interpretation of the medicine. I've tried to keep my dream recall as direct as possible without projecting too much interpretation, but my understanding generally comes through as an indirect knowingness, so sometimes this line can become blurred. I trust I've recounted as purely and honestly as possible. Beneath are some distillation of what I understood in the days after the dolphin whale dreaming. The execution of dolphins is a direct mirror of the execution of human evolution and life on here on Earth. We as humans share an energetic brotherhood, sisterhood with dolphins that extends beyond time, space, reality, and links us together as one and the same. Their future, the dolphin population, is our future, the population of humanity. Taking responsibility for this truth is paramount, and its gravity cannot be underestimated. The protection of dolphin populations is paramount in order to ensure the future of life here on Earth. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating, Julian. So how do you see your vase fitting in? You're going to be planting it in the Southwest, and it will be not
Yeah,
only to heal the land, but to help the cetaceans at the same time.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we really want to seed that, now that message was so clear into this vase, but you know, who knows, I don't know whether further, and something else will be dedicated into a region like, say, Japan or some other place in the world, to be of support to harm minimize. But definitely the intention going into this vase very strongly, and what we're really calling on for support is for those cetacean beings. And of course, we can't forget about the sacredness of life in general. But
Mm.
these beings are incredible beings. The indigenous here, they have, ancient communion and connection with the whales, and the dolphins. Songs for the whales, songs for the dolphins. Even some of the whales, because the sea level has risen here, and around the world, places where people used to live, people died. Um, the Noongar people have survived 2 ice ages. It's an
Mm.
incredible culture, and the whales would actually be the ones who would bring the spirit of those people that were who had died, out on the country where the ocean came in. They would bring themselves back to the land. They deliberately, their higher self would guide them to beach themselves, and the Noongar people would use everything from that whale. Um, but at the same time, the spirit of those beings would come back to the land, and then a mother would, you know, um, an indigenous woman would bring the spirit of that ancestor back into the world. So, um, this is a very sacred relationship, and so many indigenous cultures.
Yeah,
They
it
say,
certainly is.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no,
go on,
I
Steve.
was just going to say that as you were reading the dream and as you were speaking, it was very clear to me that we are so close in connection to the dolphins and the whales, and that there is a special kind of bond that many of us don't think about, but it really is there. And not only it's a question of all of life being one, but there seems to be some special bond between the cetaceans and the humans, and I'm not quite sure what that bond is. But so,
Mm.
in terms of you and your vase, how can we as a community support you?
Yeah, well, like I said, that there's some big issues facing this region. The fires is becoming alarmingly clear that it's threatening a lot of the life in this region. So I'd say on an environmental, point of view, that's a really big one that we would really like support for. Um, and then, like I said, issues facing the youth, um, you know, uh, you know, that is a really a big factor. Um, that support is needed. As far as the dolphins and the whales, I feel that, um, just one other story. Uncle Noel, who's a Noongar elder, he tells the story that, there were when the sea level rose, there were some sites, big caves, um, that were on the land where the indigenous people here, the Noongars, used to go. Um, and then when the sea level rose, the whales actually go to those same sites, and that's where they practice their whale songs. And there's a big cave there where the whale will position itself, and I think you get good reverb there, and the dolphin practices its songs, and then shares those songs to other whales that share those to other whales, and the whales share to the dolphins, and the dolphins share to the humans, you know, through their vibrations, through their frequencies, through their energy. And this connection connects the whole world. So these whales are sharing vibrations from this land all the way around the world. Those songs are passed on, they're shared, they're communicated, like, you know, like mantras almost. So they're, you know, they're very special and important beings. And they say as human beings, we come down through the Sirian star system as part of, you know, becoming a human being. And Sirius is where they say that the dolphin energy is from, the dolphins and the whales, Sirius B. So we have a very strong connection with that. So I suppose it's about us realizing how sacred and important these beings are. And of course the dream is, you know, intense because it's a dream, and it's going to be as intense as it needs to be to awaken us to the importance of things. And you know, as we protect these sacred beings around the world, you know, like the white lions and so many other sacred animals around the planet, you know, in this case, for this region, the dolphins and whales are our, you know, there are other sacred animals, but it seems like the focus is really is coming strong there. So yeah, we just really appreciate the prayers and offerings and the resonances that this message speaks to you. We really would love to hear your prayers. Thank you.
No, thank you for that, Julian. Yeah, and thank you for bringing to our awareness the importance of our communion with these majestic creatures, and how it fits into everything that we're trying to do in terms of healing the earth. You know, so thank you so much for that. Um,
Yeah, and I just really want to say thanks to Sophie, you know, for offering this. I mean, it's a big dream, and it's, you know, it takes courage to share these kind of messages. Um,
yeah,
so yeah,
yeah, it does. So
thank you.
thank you, Sophie, and thank you, Julian, for recounting it so eloquently. Um, Yeah, Julie says that as we were reading the dream, she was watching an eagle flying overhead doing circles, which was kind of fun. Yeah, thanks, Julie. Um, okay, thank you. I'd like to move on because time is kind of going by. And I suppose it's time for us to start our meditation. So I'd like to invite Therese to open the meditation and to begin. Uh, I suppose she'll ask you to relax. So, Therese?
It's a great time to relax. Thanks, Stephen. And thanks, Julian, for sharing that. And let's now take all of this that's been shared into the dream time, into the song lines, and to activate that dolphin and whale energy in the Earth Treasure Vase global mandala, and also to send that healing energy out to the dolphins and whales and creatures of the ocean. So yeah, I invite you to start to come inwards, turning off your video so that you reduce the outer distractions, get comfortable in your seat, and start to come into your breath and just make any adjustments that you need to get comfortable. And we'll come back after the meditation and join each other again to share our prayers and reflection. Perfection of wisdom, mother of Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and all beings, nourishing, holding, and healing all. Great Mother Earth, precious jewel of the cosmos, to you we bow in gratitude. We take refuge in the earth as our teacher, the one who shows us the way in this life. We take refuge in the earth as an expression of the Dharma, the teachings of interbeing, understanding, and love. We take refuge in the earth as an embodiment of the Sangha, the vast interdependent community of life in balance and harmony. And living within the web of life on earth, we dedicate ourselves to embodying awakened awareness on the path of healing in service to all beings. We dedicate our lives to realizing our oneness with Gaia. And so let's take some deep and full breaths in and out together. And just following your breath, allowing it to gradually slow down and deepen. As you feel your body relax, becoming more stable and calm, and connecting to your deepest center. Sense the ground beneath you now, feeling your roots reaching deep down into the earth, feeling yourself secure in the nourishing energies of the earth, including the waters of the earth, reaching your roots down into the waters. And from this place of being deeply rooted in the earth, opening then to the light from above, from the cosmic energies, the sun, the moon, and the earth aligned at this time of an eclipse, the full moon, and all of the stars connecting you with the vast creative energies of the cosmos.
Now, let us each acknowledge the ancestors of the original indigenous peoples of the lands where we live. Let us invite them to bless us and this practice. Bring your full attention to the present moment and form the intention to do this practice for the benefit of all beings. Call upon all of your teachers and guides, ancestors, elders, lineage masters, ascended masters, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, wisdom beings, angels and archangels, kachinas, any wisdom beings you feel connected to, and invite them to be with us and to be present with us here now. Ask them to bless you and to bless everyone who is present for this meditation. And then open your hearts and receive the blessing of their love and support, guidance, healing, and clarity. And as this blessing enters you, feel this love and caring entering your deepest heart of hearts. Breathe it in and breathe it out. And as you breathe it out, send this love to everyone who is present in our circle, everyone who is on this call. And again, as you breathe in, receive the love that is being sent by everyone. Breathing in, receiving love. Breathing out, giving love. Constantly giving and taking, sending and receiving, so that they both become one. Gradually expanding your focus to include all of your friends, family, and community, and all of those who this practice may serve, human or otherwise. Imagine the circle gradually growing from our homes, expanding to our neighborhoods, to our bioregions, to our countries and continents, to the whole planet. Everywhere, including all beings embracing the entire planet in your love.
And now, with the feeling of love strongly awakened in your heart, turn your awareness to those who are suffering, the places where there's war and poverty, disease and pollution, droughts or floods, or fires, any place where the need for healing is very great. Breathe in the suffering, and breathing out, send your love and caring to relieve the suffering of all the earth, her people, and all life all around the whole planet. Breathing in and breathing out, imagine that where there is hunger, we send food, where there is thirst, water, where there is homelessness, shelter, where there is war, peace, where there is sickness, well-being, where there are fires, water, and the balance and harmony. Imagining that there is enough for everyone, everywhere, no matter what, and that where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way, imagine that area has brought great protection and healing, and send that out on the out-breath for balance and harmony to be restored. Recall the beauty and goodness of life, the riches to be found everywhere in nature, the precious gifts of the earth that sustain life, and the very essence of the elemental energies of nature being strengthened and revitalized all around this beautiful blue-green planet we call home.
And now, as we call into our awareness the presence of the entire global community of Earth Treasure Vases that have been planted or are in the process of being planted, recall how all of these holy vessels are filled with all of our deepest prayers and intentions. And imagine that together we are pouring our love into each and every vase in the form of light, filling each vase with the healing power of our love and caring and our deepest prayers and intentions. Imagine this healing love in the form of rainbow light flowing between the vases, filling the whole global Earth Treasure Vase mandala with the powerful energies of our love and caring. And see this powerful energy traveling through the song lines and the meridians around the whole earth. And imagine this love flowing into each location on the global mandala, offering the gift of our love and healing to the people, animals, plants, and places that are connected with each node on the mandala and each new node as the mandala expands. Now, see and feel this global healing mandala coming to life as a whole.
Beginning at the center of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Mandala, in a cave above Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. And to the north at the source of the Rio Grande River in Crete, Colorado. To the south at the mouth of the Rio Grande in the Gulf of Mexico. To the east on top of Mount Baldy above Santa Fe. And to the west, to the mountain known as Sycamore to the Tewa people of New Mexico, the custodians of the sacred lands where this mandala began. And now, having established the center and the 4 directions, see the mandala growing in every direction to the Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York, to the Headwaters Old Growth Redwood Forest in Northern California, the Punta Cometa on the coast of Oaxaca in Mexico, Vilcabamba in Ecuador, Jacova, Kosovo, the Lawrence Lab at the University of California in Berkeley, the Dal Dam Forest on the border of Thailand and Myanmar, the village of Ain Karem in Israel-Palestine, Hiroshima in Japan, the cloisters in New York City placed after 9/11, the Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona, the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California, to the source of the Ganga in India and the source of the Amazon in Peru, to the southern Pacific Ocean 93 feet down in the Egom Atoll in the Trobriand Islands of Papua New Guinea, to the Arctic Circle in Alaska, the Kogi lands of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in Colombia, Tilawayan village in the Lofa County of Wandjama district of Liberia, West Africa, to the Blood River Canyon in the Limpopo province of South Africa, the Giza Plateau in Egypt, Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii, the Ntombwe Forest, South Kivu province of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Avebury in England, and Bindaluk in Jawan country in the Northern Territory of Australia.
And also the second generation of Earth Treasure Vases in Gabadmang, Arnhem Land, Australia, the Mackenzie King Park, Ottawa, Gatineau, Canada, the original garden in Findhorn, Scotland, the Great Stupa of Bodhnath in Kathmandu, Nepal, the Flint Hills of Kansas, the Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, California, the Valles Caldera of northern New Mexico, Honolulu, the Kimberleys, Australia, Utqiagvik in Arctic Alaska, the Hanford Nuclear Reservation in the state of Washington, Mount Ryozen in Fukushima, Japan, and back to where it all began at the cave hermitage of Charak, Nepal, and to Maragibi County, Liberia, Ditihul Mountain in the Walbunja country, the Yuin nation of southeastern Australia, to our root temple Tolu Gompa in Nepal, the Munzur Valley in Turkey, to Serpent Mound in Ohio, and to Antarctica. And let us also include the 12 vases still awaiting their destination, and the Earth Treasure Vases being stewarded now to Southwestern Australia, New Zealand, Delphi in Greece, Italy, to the Bering Strait in Russia, the Amazon forest in Brazil, to Korea, Arhuaco territory in Colombia, a vase dedicated to healing racism in the USA, to Washington, D.C., and to British Columbia, as well as the third generation of Earth Treasure Vases, which are now in the hands of the stewards who recently crafted them.
Particularly the third generation vase, which is going into the ground currently in Scotland in the Isle of Lewis. And imagine the light of our love also flowing into your own location, into your special spot in nature, blessing you and all of nature in your own region, your own node on the mandala. And so once again, take a deep and slow in-breath. And a deep and slow out-breath. And sense this current of love flowing powerfully between all of these locations as a flow of deep connection to each other, to each other's sacred places, to the entire global Earth Treasure Vase mandala, and to the whole Earth and all life. Sense this love and healing flowing out into the world, going wherever it's most needed, bringing love and support in whatever form it's needed for healing in the past, in the present, and in the future. See the song lines of the earth connected through each of the Earth Treasure Vase locations in a web of light, embracing the whole planet with our love. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves from your heart to the Earth Treasure Vases, energizing the vases and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out into the whole area in the sphere of influence of each of the Earth Treasure Vases. Focus your concentration on bringing healing and protection to the whole earth for all time. See the healing and protection radiating out from the vases like waves of light, flowing back and forth endlessly. Imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored.
Now, while the music is still lingering in our consciousness, while we're still following the song lines and listening to the whale song and the dolphins' hymns, recognize the great interconnected web that is life on Earth. And let us give thanks for this precious, sacred time. Let us pray that the compassion and peace that is our true condition may bring supreme happiness and benefit to all the earth and to all beings. We give gratitude to the lineage holders of the Earth Treasure Vase practice for all the support and guidance, and pray for the greatest good to come from this. And we extend our gratitude to our group holding space for the healing and protection of all beings around the whole planet at this time. Take another deep breath in and let the breath out. Slowly bring your awareness back now to your body, feeling your feet on the ground, feeling grounded on the earth in your location, and opening your eyes and returning to the group for discussion.
Okay, so welcome back, and Julian, I invite you to open the vase for the southwest of Australia, if it's not already open, and we'll go around and offer our prayers and intentions and reflections into the vase. And yeah, and I just want to thank you as we begin as well for that masterful didgeridoo playing. Keep hearing Mama Margaret from the top end of Australia. Number one, Julian. Number one, Gojuk. Want to honour. Yeah, that beautiful sound healing that you're able to share with us here, and connecting us in with the whales and the dolphin in that precious way. And you've already shared so many prayers, but just if there's anything else that came up during the meditation as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge Osa, who's stewarding a vase. It's a third generation vase, and she's dedicated it for the whales, for the protection of the whales. And we've been in contact a little bit, and her intentions are so beautiful. And I'm sure we'll hear from Osa as time goes on. But yeah, I just really wanted to also just send the water elements that we're working with to assist with the fires in New Mexico and any other areas that are affected by the fires. You know, we're entering the winter season here, so we've got plenty of cold water to send over. But yeah, we just really pray that the elementals support the cooling of that area and the rains to come. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Osa. I see you there with your third generation vase sparkling away there. And feel free to join us now or later in the call if you'd like to bring that vase up with some prayers as well. And so now we open the whole mandala here. Invite your prayers. Feel free to push the button there that raises your hand so that we can call on you, or just unmute yourself if you can't work out how to do that today. And Stephen and I will call on you. And I'm just opening my little vase. I'm stewarding a vase from New Zealand as well, so just opening that as I speak as well. And yeah, and actually I'll begin with a prayer from here, because we have a couple of special little families of dolphins here in Aotearoa. We have the little Maui dolphins. They're only about 60 centimeters long, and they're a small family from what the people who survey can tell us at the moment. Then maybe 60 of them, and they are a bit disturbed out here with the fishing, and we've managed. There's a really strong group here helping to keep the deep sea seabed mining at bay, so honouring them and sending a big prayer for their ongoing strength and protection that they've managed so far, and even that the great work that they've done can extend out to other places in the world where groups of people are trying to do that work to get the legislation that's needed in governments to protect these really special marine beings, and especially in their breeding grounds, the places where they're meeting up and having good celebrations and making babies and birthing babies, that these areas in the ocean may be kept really clean and free of noise pollution and the big man-made vehicles passing by and nets and lines, and free of all of that, and a really safe and welcoming place for them to continue to bring their new life into the world. So the Maui, and then the Hector dolphin as well, which is another very small dolphin a bit further down in the waters of Aotearoa.
Thank you, Therese.
And welcoming as well, Ray, with your prayers.
Well, I thank you both for all that you've given us already this evening, and Stephen as well. But I just wanted to especially recognize how moving Julian's description of the reciprocity between the whales, the ancestors, and the shore is. It was so full how you described that to us. And it's so essential to the whole balance of the earth. So my prayer for all the vases that are open this evening is that through our prayers tonight, that reciprocity will be nourished and deepened and have a great spread around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. And welcome, Karen and Steve.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge that in about a half hour is going to be the start of one of the most powerful lunar eclipses that Earth has seen in some time and will be seeing in some time. And there's something about the prayers that are being offered to this vase right now that they are being amplified just more than at other times. And so there's a power in our speaking our intention, and that it doesn't end with just this time frame of the actual eclipse, but it's really to be going on for the next several months, in which there is likely to be much chaos, which requires that we be very clear, very centered, and keep amplifying what we want, as opposed to being freaked out by what we don't want. And so I offer to this vase, and really to all of our lives, a consciousness of presence, of amplifying the image of what we want to co-create. So thank you.
Oh, Stephen, you've got your mute on there.
Sorry, I was saying thank you very much, Karen. That's a very moving message, and one that we all need to hear now, that we should be amplifying what we do want and not being too freaked out by what we may not want. But thank you for that. So Laura Lynn, would you like to go next?
Hi, thank you, everyone. This is really wonderful to spend this auspicious and interesting, powerful time together. It's a lot of intense energies, and I believe that us swimming together in our pods is what makes us keep the joy and remember the beauty of the water that is in us and that we float in if we're cetaceans, and the memory that those whales have of being on land at one point and why they went to the water and the dreamy state of water. I was very conscious during the meditation of them teaching us, whether we're conscious of it or not, about how to connect in with the dream lines and the song lines. A gift that all humans brought from the star nations, I believe, is just the message I was getting, and that they came with us and they're reminding us. And my prayer is that we can be very open to their teaching in the dream time, and that songs that come that we can sing, that they give to us, are valid, and everyone's voice is going into those lines and connecting to the mandala of the vases, which I feel very powerful about. And it's really good to be able to tap into that vase in the cave above Los Alamos. And I saw a lot of protection going out because around the fire area in that region. So thank you for everyone keeping that one in your mind also. And just Chimagwich for everyone coming together, and Julian for reminding us about these beautiful creatures and what they have to teach us. Oh.
Laura Lynn, that was beautiful. And yes, we really do need to know that. And we really do need to remember the song lines and the dream lines. And humanity seems to have forgotten how to sing. So yeah. Maggie and Eva, would you like to add your prayers?
Sound on. Greetings, dear ones.
Speak up.
Reiterating your words, Ray, the what you shared, Julian, the deep touching in of the stories, the dreaming, the deep presence that was with it. And Karen, thank you for yours. It sort of encouraged me to put the hand up of the potency of these times, to bring forth that comes forth. In the meditation, and I say this, certainly it was personal to me, but I think it might be for us, which is why I would share it. So the sense of that much deeper linking with the whale beings, with a sense of reaching towards them. It was a sense of something absolutely coming back to me. And I felt like they were offering an activation of a center that certainly in me needs activating, but I suspect that it's actually a new level of center for us that actually can receive and respond to these beings. I could sort of feel a tangibility to it. It's beyond a level that we've worked with so far. It was like a call. It wasn't a call, it's like they were doing it. And it was simply almost just our willingness to move towards them, that heart resonance, and there is that they are sending forth. And I think as we understand that, interpret it, work with it, there's that we can put out into this wider world, into Gaia, to serve this need of protection, all that we know, all that we're calling forth. So I hope that's understandable in words. It's still sort of forming as to what it was, but I think there is that profoundly something new that is being offered that will energize and empower us in new ways to serve. May it be so.
Yeah, it's wow. Hi, Eva.
This profound love of dolphins I have been able to experience in a period that I lived very close to them, and beautiful sanctuary where the birthing was happening. I always walked the beach in the morning. At one morning I was deeply depressed, and I just went still on my walk, and all of a sudden my heart was just filled with love and an incredible loving energy. And I looked, and in the low waters was a dolphin with her child, with her baby. And the energy of love was just, brought me back to life. And it was so beautiful. And Maggie and I swam there frequently, and then they would just brush your body, and it was just amazing. The love I remember from them, and the love there is, and the love that will now come to us in our new time coming into. So I'm very grateful for you, Julian, to bring this all to us so alive. Thank you. And may I say something to you, Elizabeth Christine? Happy birthday, darling.
Happy birthday.
Can I also just add, I also remembered there is a film called Whale Dreaming, which you still might find online. It was filmed here in Australia. It was the Indigenous people who had been dispossessed from their land. So they had lost the ability to do the singing of the whale dreaming. So they actually came together. It was a group of Indigenous, non-Indigenous. It was John Lennon's son, Julian Lennon, that was there at the centre of it, and I think funded the film. So this group came together back onto the land in an attempt to sing the whale song and to see if the whales would return. So I'll leave the ending as it is, but I think you can probably, it's quite a number of years ago now, but you can probably find it online, Whale Dreaming.
Thanks, Maggie. And we'll pop that in the mandala so you can follow up afterwards.
Okay, I'll see if I can find a link.
Yeah, that'd be great if you can post it there. Yeah, thank you. May the blessings ripple out. And hi, Roger, is that you there, Leslie?
It's Leslie and Roger. Thank you. We are here in the redwood trees by the Santa Cruz Mountains base in Silicon Valley. So we wanted to send love from the redwoods into the vase, into all the vases in this beautiful, beautiful, blessed, sacred place. You can feel the song lines that we're speaking of here singing. The whales are here off the coast of California. I can hear the whale song. I can hear the whale song all the way to Australia. And the redwoods are singing along too. It's just beyond joy. You want to add anything? Love, love, love.
Love, love, love. That's absolutely magical. Thank you. Blessings there in the redwoods. Hi there, China. Please unmute yourself as well.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you how close all this is to my heart. And indeed, as was just mentioned, the whales are here. And the front page of the paper yesterday or today, I've been carrying around with me, is about the whales and how long they're staying now and how close they're coming into shore. And it was just reviving the idea of going out when the whales are here to scatter some of my husband's ashes. So it's moving a lot. And it also brings up this beautiful young illustrator writer who contacted me about doing a children's book with her about whales. So this is just sort of cascading, and hearing Maggie and Eva, and this has just been so delicious. And Julian, your didgeridoo speaks the whale song. I heard the whales in what you were playing, and you're sharing growing up there, all of you who've shared about being in the water with the whales and the dolphins. And my husband did that in Hawaii. I mean, it wasn't like he did it. I mean, they came to him and encircled him. And it was a joyous event. And I don't know how this all fits together. It doesn't matter. I'm just so grateful to be exposed to the kind of refinement and delicacy of the filaments of the connections that we all have with one another and with the earth and with the song lines and with the snake mound, and which connects me over in East Texas. I mean California, but there's just so many connections that keep getting woven. It doesn't matter where they come from. I'm just very, very grateful, and I'm praying for each and every one of you, for this community, for the wind to shift and stay out of Los Alamos. My God. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Pray for our whale story, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll just check in, Julie Rains, I saw you were there by the ocean or by a lake. Are you still there?
There she is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Coming.
Hello, everyone.
Hear from you.
I missed that, Therese. Sorry, Wi-Fi is not good here.
Okay.
Well, when I planned this journey a month and a half ago, I didn't think of the full moon. I didn't know about the Perth vase and what it was doing. So the synchronicity of this just even blows my mind. So I've had the whole weekend spent in time with dolphins. I'm literally just walking along the beach, the canals. They turn, I turn with them. Where they go, I just follow. And that's all I'm doing, just sitting on the rocks until it's nighttime, then coming back into my little place. So much joy. So many babies. Oh my lordy, lordy, lordy. So I'm really full of joy at this moment, and just want to share that deep, deep love. Incredible visits with stingrays, like enormous, enormous stingrays. I've never seen them this big before. And the whole reason why I planned this is my daughter's birthday. And she's about to birth, and she's away at this moment with her husband. And I thought, what a beautiful way of celebrating her birth 28 years ago by taking myself somewhere and spending time with dolphins.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for sharing that joy. And
Yeah.
can you say where you are? Where are you?
Okay, so I'm south of Perth, so Mandurah, and then a bit lower than Mandurah, so a little bit more south of Mandurah is a place called Dawesville. Okay. So it is absolutely beautiful. And I ended up getting a room in Port Brevard, which is a lovely marina. So I'm surrounded with boats. And this morning I had dolphins that came right in front of my room, and I'm sitting on the jetty with dolphins below me. Oh, look, I just cannot get better than that. So I just all this beautiful love and joy I share with everyone through all the vases, through all time. Big hugs, Julian and Sophie. Thank you for sharing your joy, sweetheart. And we had the beautiful eagle that was circling over me as well as this was all happening.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like the prayers of the Southwest Bars are amplified through your experience as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
They definitely
Say
are.
hi. Say hi to the dolphins for us, yeah?
Oh, Julian, look, I can send you 1,000 photos, 1,000 videos. It's me going, good morning, beautifuls. How are you? Thank you for coming to me. Like, I've had incredible encounters. Like, and even this stingray that was climbing up the rocks, like it was just wanting to come and kiss me. It was just crazy.
Beautiful. Enjoy.
Oh, I love you all. Thank you, darlings. Love you all.
Lots of love. And now we have another Julie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to add into the vase. I'm on Tongva land near the Pacific Ocean, and you know, kind of reaching my heart out to the whales and the dolphins here. And I wanted to add a prayer to the vase for the humans who are unconscious, whose hearts are closed in a certain way, that are making the killings. The prayer to their hearts, that their hearts open in such a way that they're unable, unable to do that anymore, is the prayer that I'd like to add to the vase during this full moon eclipse, and hopefully that the power of the moon can amplify that wish.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. That's beautiful. Is there anyone else who would like to offer a prayer at this time?
And just while we're waiting, if any of you would like to offer a prayer, I'll just share some that have been offered in the chat as well. Macy, whose mic isn't working at the moment, but she'd like to share her prayers of healing and peace and harmony to envelope our group, our planet, all of our lands, seas, sky, and beyond. Our whole. And also, oops, what just happened to my screen? Sorry. Also from Claudia Enriquez. She had to leave early, but she mentions that she could see the circles of love going out, and sending prayers and energies from Washington, DC to the vases. And also to Pat. She says that she saw a lost whale out on the St. Lawrence River in Montreal. Perhaps it's a sign, and would like to add to the vase awareness and awakening where there is ignorance and hypnosis.
Yeah, thank you for that, Therese. Elizabeth, would you like to add a prayer?
Yes, I'd like to add a prayer for the plant life of the oceans and the planktons and the kelps and all the plants that feed the whole food chain, that sustain these beautiful beings, that they may be sustained. Yeah, so my prayer.
Thank you. Yeah, without that, the whales and the dolphins wouldn't be there. That's part of the major food chain. So
like
as
prayer, if I have time. Do we have time for one more?
Yes, we have plenty of time. Can you hold on just a second? Yeah, so I'm sorry, Dune, why don't you give us your prayer right away?
I would just like to send out a prayer with this vase for healing. We have a really serious, in the Bahamas, a very serious disease that is destroying all our coral. it's taking over like wildfire, and it's just killing the coral. And we are a very low-lying country. The highest bit of land is 200 feet in the entire country, and the coral protects us from hurricanes and tsunamis and everything. But it's dying very quickly. So with this vase and all the dolphin and whale energy, which we're surrounded with, there's whales and dolphins all around us, I would just like to add a prayer for the healing for the coral disease that may go in with the vase, and find a way to heal this disease. So thank you, and so may it be. Ho.
Oh, Stephen, you're muted.
Oh, again, sorry about that. I pressed
Okay.
the button, but nothing happened. I was just saying, June, thank you so much for that, for reminding us how important the coral really is. You know, not only for where you live, but for all over the world. You know, it's a very important part of the ocean. So yeah, thank you. And thank you, Elizabeth, for what you had mentioned earlier, the plankton and the vegetables and the plants. I'd like to add that, as Therese mentioned at the beginning of the call, right about now, there are two women, Judith Tripp and Jan Chowley, who are placing a vase on the Isle of Lewis in Scotland. So that's very auspicious, and so please remember them in your prayers. And there's also a third generation vase by Osa, who we saw a little bit earlier, who's I think still on the call. And her vase, I believe, is dedicated to the whales. So let's keep that one in mind as well. And Osa, if you would like to offer a prayer, or would you like to join us? Are you still here?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. My vase is here resonating with Julian's. And yeah, I really feel like I want to connect the energy that these ancient beings have into the mandala. And my offering, what I have imagined for my aspiration for this face, is that there's a reciprocal, energizing, resilience building that happens between the whales and all of the practices of the mandala. And there's a part of that that's human generated, which is great. And then it's a way that all the other energies from all the other beings come in to be able to give support to the whales and be able to receive support from them in the unique way that they have of offering it. So I'm just sort of sending a lot of energy and affection and light in the direction of Julian and the vase he holds. And this vase is doing harmony with you.
Thank you so much, Elsa. And it's really wonderful to connect in with your vase as well. And we look forward to hearing as well of the journey of that vase as you steward it and carry it. And may all the prayers of the mandala also go into that vase as well. Yeah, and so we also have a prayer on the chat from Anne-Marie. Thank you. She's adding prayers for the youth, love, and these great teachings of interspecies friendship, the gifts of kindness and understanding. And from someone else, prayers and thanks to everyone for doing the work, for raising the awareness, for building consciousness, conscious community, service to Gaia, and our collective life here. Thanks for those prayers. And welcome, Caraway Seed.
Oh, sorry, it took me a minute to unmute. Yeah, that's neat that somebody was just talking about the animal-human friendship. I have this dog with me that I'm caring for right now, and she's just been the last few minutes just licking me all over and giving me so much love, and I just felt like, oh, she's giving a prayer for the animal-human love and kinship and friendship. And yeah, so I'm feeling that right here, and so Sadie and I are putting that for the vases. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Blessings to all the dogs as well. And hi there, Zenya.
I would like to add to the prayers of prayer of nonviolence and then having courage to do that. In the face of oppression, remain nonviolent. In the face of fear, remain courageous. Thank you.
Merci, Virginia. May it be so. Olivia, would you like to add your prayer?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for this opening to the whale and dolphin love intelligence field. I feel that there's so much for us to learn on a somatic intelligence level from whales and dolphins. And in my own lineage and many lineages, there was like a cutoff from that kind of heart intelligence. And so I'm just really deeply appreciating the mandala for opening us to this field of interconnected life and the power of intelligence with humility that whales and dolphins have is so vast. It's beyond comprehension in a way. So my prayer is that those of us, including myself, that have those blocks, that they melt more and more to the humility of the vast intelligence.
Thank you for that, Olivia. Aho. Yeah, thank you, everyone. The prayers feeling really potent, really energized. I feel them, simultaneously, all of the joy and the love and all this really heightened energy going out and doing its healing work, and simultaneously a really compassionate awareness of all the suffering in the world as well. Yeah, at the same time. So and that's because of the energy and the prayers that you've all brought here and shared. So thank you. May the prayers go on through the powerful eclipse, through the full moon, and through the coming moon cycle. Yeah, may they ripple out. So I think we'll finish there. I'm just wondering, we do have a few minutes. Can I make a request, Julian, a bit on the spot, whether we can perhaps finish off with another round of sound healing, perhaps some didgeridoo and whale song to take us out?
Sure.
That'd be wonderful. And I'll
Absolutely.
just dedicate the merit of the practice, so that by the merit of this practice may all beings live in peace and harmony. May there be no more war or conflict, and may harmony among all living beings on earth be realized. Lako. Alalaho.
Thank you, Therese. Yeah, I just really encourage people to connect with the dolphin whale energy, the medicine that's been, brought into this field. You know, I've had lots of experiences of swimming with dolphins in the dream world, and I'd really encourage you to open to that. It's something that you can experience like it's for real. It feels as real as doing it for real, and yeah, I just invite you to connect with them and feel that, that connection, those communications, that loving connection. It's very supportive, very healing. Thank you so much, and yeah, thanks to everybody.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you on behalf of all of us. Yeah,
You're welcome.
may all of our joy and love ripple out with the beauty and harmony of the didgeridoo song, the whale song, the dolphin song. So feel free to keep on sharing your prayers on the mandala, anything that you haven't had time to voice today, or any images that have come up that you'd like to share on there. We'll meet again next full moon and share prayers again. Thank you for everyone. Thanks so much, Julian, and to Sophie as well, for really guiding us in this meditation and prayers today. Thanks to Stephen for hosting the call as well. Thank you all for everything that you've brought to today and to this moment. And yeah, I feel let's finish off with sharing our voices, with the freedom and joy that the dolphins do, that the whales do. Let's join our voices in joy and love as well.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Alalaho.
Love, love.
Thank you. Thank you.